Okay, so Ava and Amy are sisters who make videos with cheerleading tips. Ava, the older sister, wants her part of their next video to be 4 times as long as Amy's. And the video will be a total of 16 minutes. So that it says let X represent Amy's part of the video and Y represent Ava's. So this is, X is Amy and Y is Ava. It is important that we identify which one it is. They already gave it to you on the graph, so that helps. But if they don't, you have to make sure you identify which one is which, because it does matter, okay? All right, so they give us this system, y equals 4x, and x plus y is equal to 16, and they want us to put it on the graph. Okay, so y equals 4x, not a problem, right? So what is that one gonna look like? Where do I start?
You start at 0.
I'm gonna start at 0 and do what? Yeah, and my intervals are by 2s, right? So to go up by 4, it's 2 here and 1 here. Watch those intervals. All right, and then again here, and here, and here, and here. All right, so there's my first one. And then my second one, what do I need to do there? Yeah, I need to subtract the x to the other side, so I'm going to get y is equal to negative x plus 16. All right, so I'm going to start this time at 16, and it's negative 1 and 1, right? So I can do what to get there? Because 1, like to go down 1 is halfway here, so you could do that, right? Or I could go down how?
2 and 2.
Yeah. 2 of, like, well, 1 of these is equal to 2 of these, right? Yes or no? Okay. Or I could say 1 and 1 would be a half, and then another 1 and 1 would be 2, so that's the easiest way to do it. Are y'all with me there? Okay, so then I'm going to go, so essentially it's down a half. I think that's what Corbin said. Okay, so it looks like this. All right, so then when I look at my solution, like what I was doing yesterday, what's the problem?
Well, it doesn't intersect at all.
Yeah, it does not intersect in a nice place. And so this isn't real helpful for me because they don't want a kinda answer, they want the exact answer, right? So we're not gonna estimate the answer, which means there has to be another way to do it. All right, a roundabout, do we think what it might be? Relatively close. Because it says estimate. What is roughly our x value? 3 points, did you say 3 point something?
About like 3.1.
Okay, maybe 3.1, yeah, something like that, we're not exactly sure, all right, and the y value, what do you think? Maybe 13 would be halfway, so maybe 12 and a half, roughly, maybe, and yours may be slightly different than mine, depending on how well you drew your line. Okay, so I know kind of what it is, but I don't know exactly what it is. All right, so it says we can check it by plugging in our x and y. If we plugged that in, we'd have 13, or not 13, sorry, 12.5 is what we guessed. 12.5 is supposed to be equal to 4 times 3.1. Is that going to be decently close?
Probably.
That's going to be, I mean, 4 times 3 is 12.
Yes,
So it's going to be approximately pretty close. All right. And we could check it in the other equation. It would probably also be pretty close, but it's not the exact answer. Are we in agreement? Okay, so what would you say is an advantage to, or sorry, a disadvantage to graphing based on what we just saw?
Sometimes it's accurate.
It's not going to be precise.
Yeah, sometimes the solution is not, I like that word, precise or exact or accurate, depending on which way you want to write it. I don't care. It's not exactly what we need. It's close, but it's not exactly what we need. Alright, so this method that we're looking at today is gonna be called the substitution method. Alright, so what does it mean to have a substitute in general?
It takes the place of something.
Yeah, it's gonna take the place of something else. Everybody okay with that? It's a really good way to say it. Alright, so the steps for solving substitution. So the first thing that we're gonna do is solve one of the equations. This says for y. It really doesn't have to just be y. It could be x. It depends on which one is easier. Alright, then once we know what x is or what y is, we can substitute that value in to the other equation and then solve for the other variable. So if this could be y or x, then this could be x or y, depending on which one we solve for first. Does that make sense? Because you don't have to find y first. You can find x first. Everybody okay with that? Alright, so then once I know that, I can substitute both answers back in, both answers back in, I totally spelled that wrong, to the other problem, and then check and see if it's true. I fixed that before. I skipped half the word. Okay, so it's a lot of substituting and checking and moving around. We'll see what that means here. All right, so find the number of minutes each sister will cheer on the video from the situation above. How did you go about, how did your graph estimation look? Okay, all right, so I had y is equal to 4x, and I had x plus y is equal to 16. Okay, so the nice thing here is one of them already is solved for a variable, right? Like y is already by itself in the first equation, yes? Okay, so I don't even have to do step one because it's already done for me. Everybody good? Okay, so I know what y is. Y is 4x. Are we in agreement that that says y is 4x? Okay, so that means I can take this 4x and I'm going to substitute it into that x right there. Or sorry, not into that x, into the y. Sorry. Because it is 4x. I'm going to substitute it in this. Because if y is 4x, then this y also has to be 4x. Does that make sense? Okay. So then I'm going to use this equation, x plus, and in place of the y, I'm going to write 4x is equal to 16. Now you have something that you're familiar with. What do we do? Okay, so I combine here, and I've got 5x is equal to 16. And now I'm going to do what? Divide by 5. We are not going to get the decimal. We're just going to leave the fraction. Okay, we'll get the decimal in a minute, but we're going to leave it as a fraction for right now to work with it. Because we're talking about the number of minutes we're going to write it as a decimal, but to work in the problem, we're going to use the fraction so that we're not rounding our numbers until we get to the end. Is that okay? You don't ever want to plug in a rounded number. If you do, it's going to change the value. So the fraction is more accurate. Okay, so I'm going to go back to up here, and I'm going to plug in my 16 over 5. That'll tell me what y is. Does that make sense, since I now know x is equal to 16 over 5? Yes or no? Okay, so y is equal to 4, and in place of x, I'm substituting in 16 over 5. So y is equal to, what fraction is that? It's going to be 64 over 5. Okay, and if you go in your calculator and you add 6 over 5 and 64 over 5, it should come out to be 16, which it does, because 64 and 16 is 80, and 80 divided by 5 is 16. So it works. Okay, so that's how y'all okay with how to check it? I would do 16 over 5 plus 64 over 5, which is 80 over 5, which is 16. So it works. Alright, so if I go back up and I look at my original, Ava was my y value. So my y value here was 64 over 5, which is 12.8. And 16 over 5 is 3.2. So Ava was 12.8 and Amy was 3.2. Were we decently close? Yeah, we were pretty close, but it wasn't exact. Everybody okay? Alright, so let's take a look at number 2. Is it already, do I already have one in the right form? Yeah, I have the second one, y is already by itself, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into that y right up there. Everybody with me? I'm substituting it in. So I'm going to come over here. I've got 5x plus, and in place of y, I'm going to write 2x minus 1 is equal to 34. Is everybody okay with what I did? Okay, now what do I do? I'm going to combine right here. So I've got 5x and 2x, which is 7x minus 1 is equal to 34. Now, add the 1 to both sides. So I've got 7x is equal to 35. Now, divide out your 7. So x is equal to 5. So I know what x is. Okay, now I can go find y. How?
Plug the x into the equation, so it would be y equals 2 multiplied by 5 minus 1.
Perfect. Which gives me 10 minus 1. So y must equal 9. 5 and 9. So I'm still writing it as an ordered pair. And then I can check, you can check it in your calculator. X is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 7 or plus 9 would give me 34. So it does work. Is everybody okay there? So you can quick check it in your calculator. All right. What about number 3? Do I already have one? Yes. So what am I doing? How am I setting this up? Good. It's going into that y right there. So I have negative x plus 3. And I'm multiplying it by times a binomial. So what do I need to do there? Huh? I need to put it in parentheses. Good. 6x minus 2 is equal to 28. Don't have enough room there. Okay, so now what do I do? Yeah, we're going to distribute. So really, once we get here, we end up with stuff we've already done this year, just solving equations. Okay, now what?
Negative x plus 9x minus,
Wait, no, not 9.
Combine like one.
Thank you. All right, so when I combine, that gives me 17x minus 6 equals 28. Now, add your 6. So I've got 17x is equal to, looks like 34, bless you. I divide out the 17. Does it go evenly? Looks like it. X equals 2? Should be 2. Okay, so x equals 2. All right, now what do I do? Plug it in where? Yeah, I'm going to plug it into this one right here because I want y, so that's the one I'm going to plug it into. All right, y is equal to 6 times 2 minus 2. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 2, so y must be 10. So I have 2 and 10. And then if I go back and I try to plug this in, x was negative, or x is 2, but it was negative, so negative 2 plus 3 times 10, which is 30. Negative 2 and 30 give me 28. Yes? Okay, yes it does. All right, everybody good? Okay. All right, let's take a look at these back here. All right, do I have, on number 4, do I have one already in the right form? No, I don't. Which one can I get by itself pretty easy? Which letter, which equation? In which equation? In the second equation. That's what I would do. Everybody okay? So how do I get that y by itself? I'm going to divide everything by 3. So if I divide this by 3, I've got y. If I divide this by 3, I've got 3y, or 3x. If I divide this by 3, I get minus 4. So I divided everything by 3. Everybody okay that that's what we did? Okay? Now what am I doing?
Three X minus four to the Y.
Okay, I'm putting this right there. Everybody in agreement? Okay, so I've got 3x. How am I gonna write this?
Something up to up top.
Okay, I'm subtracting a binomial. What do I need to do if I'm using a binomial?
Oh, you put the parentheses.
It's gotta have a parentheses. Good. Alright, minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 4. Are we in agreement there? Okay, so what will be my next step? Distribute. So I have 3x minus 3x plus 4 equals 4. Alright, what's my next step? When I do that, what happens?
They cancel out.
It cancels out, and I get 0 plus 4 is equal to 4. Is that a true statement? It is true. Because that is true, that means I'm going to have infinite solutions. That means no matter what value I choose, it's always going to work. I'm always going to get the left equals the right. Everybody okay? And it would work in both equations. So it doesn't mean the solution is 4. It means you have infinite solutions. If they match, that's what happens. Everybody okay there? All right, so what does infinite solutions actually mean to us? Graphically,
The same line.
they're the same line. Like, you need to know what that means. They are the same line. Are we okay there? Okay, let's take a look at number 5. Is there one that I can get by itself pretty easy or not?
They're the same
They're the same?
They're the same kind of format.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, they're not the same equation, okay.
No.
Yeah, they're both in standard form. Now, honestly, elimination is not, substitution is not what I would use here. I would use elimination, but that's not what we're doing today, so we're gonna use substitution. So it really doesn't matter which one you get by itself. So do y'all wanna do the top or do you wanna do the bottom?
I don't know.
I'm gonna do the top. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this one because it's already up here. So the first thing I would need to do is move 4x to the other side, yes? And it would be positive over there. Are we in agreement? Alright, I'm gonna write it up here. So I've got 3y is equal to 4x plus 30, right? Then what would I need to do? I would divide everything by 3. So that's gonna give me y is equal to 4/3 x plus 10. Everybody okay there? Now I can use substitution. This is not very nice, but that's just what I have to do, right? And it's going in right there for y. Everybody okay? That's where it goes. Okay? So I've got 2x minus 3. How am I doing this? The parentheses, good. 4/3 x plus 10 is all supposed to equal negative 27. Okay, now I need to do what? Distribute. Alright, so 2x stays. Here, this is pretty nice. The 3's are going to cancel, so it's going to leave me with minus 4x. Negative 3 times 10 is going to be negative 30, equal to negative 27. Okay, now, okay, so that's going to give me negative 2x minus 30 is equal to negative 27. Now, add the 30 over here. So negative 2x is equal to, looks like 3. And then we would divide by negative 2. So x is negative 3/2. All right, now I need to go find my y value. Yes? Okay. I'm going to plug it into an original equation because if I might have made a mistake right here, then it works in here. That doesn't necessarily mean that it works over here because I made a mistake there. Does that make sense? We didn't. But if you did, you wouldn't catch it here. So I'm going to plug it back into one of my original problems. Are we okay there? So I'm going to plug it into the top one again. I'm just going to use that one again. Are y'all okay? Alright, so I've got negative 4 times negative 3/2 plus 3y is equal to 30. So -4 times -3/2 is gonna give you a +6. Are we in agreement there? Okay, so I've got 6 plus 3y equals 30. What do I need to do? Subtract your 6. So I've got 3y is equal to 24. And then I'm gonna divide out my 3. And I get y is equal to 8. Okay, and if I plug this back in, it does work. When you plug it back in, you would wanna plug it into this other equation though, the 2x minus 3y to prove it. Everybody okay there? And it should work there. So we got -3/2 and 8. Any questions? Okay, what about on number 6? What would you do?
You would do the bottom one, because you can get that X by itself.
Yeah, well, it's already by itself, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if x is already by itself, I can go straight to substituting. I don't have to rearrange first. Does that make sense? Okay, so this time we're plugging into x. So I've got -2 times 5/2y minus 3 plus 5y is equal to 22. Okay, first step. Okay, so that's gonna give me -5y and plus 6 plus 5y is equal to 22. Alright, what happens here? Yeah, -5y and +5y, when we combine those, they cancel. So I end up with 0 plus 6 is equal to 32. Well, is that true?
32.
Or, sorry, 22. Is that true? No, definitely not. So if it's not true, what do you think we would have here? It would be no solution. What would that mean on the graph if I graphed them? They would be parallel lines. Everybody okay there? Alright. Fish and Fin sells clownfish and angelfish. The clownfish costs $1.50 each and the angelfish costs $2 each. At the end of the day, Fish and Fin sold a total of 156 fish and made $260. X represents the number of clownfish. Alright, X is, I'm gonna write this up here. Clownfish is X. And then Y would be your angelfish. Alright, find the number of each fish that was sold at Fish and Fins that day. And they gave us the system. Okay? So, what do we need to do first? What's your first step?
Get a variable by itself.
Say again.
Get a variable by itself.
Okay, we need to get a variable. Which one and which equation?
Top one.
Top one, top equation. Alright, which variable do you want? X or Y? You want Y? Okay, so Y then in this equation, Y, if I subtract my X, I'm gonna get 156 minus X. And if you wrote -X plus 156, that's fine too, I don't care. Everybody okay there? Alright, now what do I do? Plug it in where?
Y from the other equation.
Y in my other equation. Okay, so I've got 1.5x plus 2, and since I have a binomial, I've got to have a parentheses. 156 minus x is equal to 260. Alright, so my 1.5 comes down, plus 2 times 156 is 312. 12 minus 2x is equal to 260. Okay, now, okay, so I've got 1.5 minus 2, which is going to give me -0.5x plus 312 is equal to 260. Now, subtract your 312. So I've got -0.5x is equal to 260 minus 312, -52. Okay, now, divide by positive 104. Okay, so I know X, which equation am I gonna plug into? Yeah, the top, which is gonna be 156, if I plug it in there, then I'm gonna subtract it to the other side, so 156 minus 104, what's 156 minus 104? 52, okay, so y is equal to 52, and if you plugged it back into the second equation, it would work there. And I would check them to make sure, especially if you have decimals or fractions or anything, just make sure you're careful with that. Alright, so I need clownfish, they wanna know how many, and angelfish, they wanted to know how many. Alright, which one is which?
Clownfish is 104 and angelfish is 52.
Okay. Alright, so we got that. That's why if you write them down, it makes it a little bit easier. You have to go back and find the problem. Okay, any questions there? Okay. Alright, using the system on the graph, answer A through C. They first want us to write the system of equations.